My name is Bill McDaniel. I am the County Commissioner for District 5, which has new bounds as of last December. Well, actually in August it will become formal, but for everybody watching, 951 and east to the county lines on all sides. There is probably as many four-legged critters as there are two. This regional park, BigCorkscrew Regional Park, has been a long overdue community necessity. This is part of infrastructure for the community of Eastern and Collier County. I'm extremely proud to be representing this park, to be participatory in its, in fact, construction. The residents, it's been an overwhelming success, and we're only necessarily a little bit, I don't even know that we're actually halfway through, but it's an amazing facility for our community. In short, if you have an opportunity, visit the Donafiella Eagle Lakes Park down on the East Trail. Very similar water facility, aquatics facility going in here. That's the easiest way to describe all the sun and fun that's in fact going to be out here. In this particular instance, the funding came from multiple sources. It certainly comes, a small portion comes from ad valorem, but the majority of it comes from impact fees. And then several years ago, I think it was in 18, the electorate voted to allow for the infrastructure sales tax increase to transpire, and a large portion of the construction of this park came from that. We appropriated the budget to construct the road south and out down to Orange Tree with the traffic light installation down by Orange Blossom on Oilwell Road. A lot of folks who do or do not know me need to actually understand I didn't run to become a county commissioner because I needed another job. I don't necessarily believe the government is the issue. It's just the systems of government have sometimes become dysfunctional and or skewed. The priorities of the community sometimes get adjusted. Infrastructure is the key to success for the quality of life of our population. We have rules and regulations. We have a GMP, we have a growth management plan. That's what GMP stands for. We have a land development code. We have a budgeting process. All of these things are intertwined with a plan to be able to manage the necessary infrastructure for the people that we have here, let alone those that we know are coming. And the argument, this argument that's been age old and has been going on, growth, no growth, don't let anybody else in, I'm here now. Oh, but 4-lane the roads, put water and sewer in, and only let the dump trucks run on Thursday between 2 and 3 when Mama's at the hairdresser. That can't work. And so we have, as a community, been somewhat delinquent in supplying the necessary infrastructure for the residents that are in fact already here, let alone arguing as to whether or not we're going to let anybody else come. Henceforth, the in excess of $500 million or so in infrastructure projects, a portion of this park will be in excess of $70 million by the time we're done. We just let the contract for Vanderbilt Beach's extension, that to be from 951 Collier Boulevard, for those that aren't aware of what 951 is. I'm here 41 years. And so Vanderbilt Beach extension all the way out to 16th, and we're ultimately going to carry it straight on through in 24 out to Everglades Boulevard. That's 150 million plus minus by the time we're done with that. Just due east of this park is the Northeast Regional Wastewater Water Facility, a regional interconnected wastewater water facility that the county bought the land for, permitted in 2000 through 2002, and then set aside and didn't do it. And today we're actually having issues of preventative maintenance circumstances at both our north plant and our south plant, where we can't take storage tanks offline for fear of disruption of service for the populace that I already have. That's the reason that this is going in right now. And that's one of the reasons why I chose to become a commissioner. We have to realign the priorities of the expenditure of the taxpayers' money. And if we take care of the people that are here and maintain the infrastructure necessary requisite to have a decent, in fact, good quality of life, more can come. We wouldn't have the issues of traffic and so on and so forth if Vanderbilt Beach Extension had been constructed when it was triggered in 2006. is when that road was triggered. A portion of it is sales tax money. That referendum that passed, that was close to $420 million of additional revenue that comes into the community through consumption tax. A portion of it is impact fees. Collier County has the highest impact fee structure in the entire state of Florida. And so our impact fees are, in comparison to the rest of the state, the highest. But those monies are also a supply chain for the infrastructure requisite for the population. The description of economic benefit generated by investments in transportation is a perfect example of what Tiger grants in fact are. It is predominantly right now over in Immokalee, where there's close to $23 million being invested, and that's a portion of that in excess of $500 million that I spoke of earlier in eastern Collier County. We've got in excess of $100 million, by the way, plus or minus, coming into Immokalee in infrastructure as we speak. 23 or so is the Tiger grant. And it's just rehabilitation of sidewalks, streets, stormwater, drainage, lighting, providing for safety, health, and welfare of the community. The main thing that I see that's going to be a huge benefit, we have a big CAT bus transfer station where the Collier County Health Department is there in Immokalee. That whole facility is getting redone. It's going to be a new hub for a CAT bus turnaround along with our health department there. That's the main thing, right next to our library and our community park there in Immokalee. The growth and development in eastern Collier County is managed by our GMP. All of the lands east of 951 have overlays of zoning rights that are encompassed within our growth management plan. The Golden Gate Estates master plan, we just updated that in the end of 19. And I trifurcated that master plan into Golden Gate Estates Urban, which is west of 951, Golden Gate City, the 4 square miles, and then Golden Gate Estates Rural, east of 951. And we established rules and regulations with regard to the growth and development in those areas. Then outside of Golden Gate Estates on the peripheral is a rural fringe mixed use district, which allows for higher density, more compact, concentric development within those areas. That will then assist in keeping and maintaining the rural character that the residents of eastern Collier County in the estates in fact like and want. And then on the perimeter of that is the Rural Land Stewardship Overlay, which encompasses in excess of 200,000 acres. Enormously successful land use plan, preserving and protecting extremely environmentally sensitive lands by transferring vested real property rights away from the extremely environmentally sensitive to the less environmentally sensitive. There is a limit currently of 47,000 acres of developable land in that 200,000, which means the balance will be preserved and protected in perpetuity at zero expense to the public treasury, either in acquisition and or perpetual maintenance. And that's an important factor for folks to know and understand. They all hear about this growth and development and and a lot of times negative connotations come along. 25% of those lands will in fact be allowed to be developable in the future. And what we're doing is transferring densities and property rights out of the extremely environmentally sensitive lands to less. There are those that perceive it to be all environmentally sensitive and should never be developed. But there has to be a balance, and this is a fine voluntary land use plan that is not a burden to our infrastructure or our community. There are intrinsic property rights that are necessary for the protection of what America in fact stands for. But on the same token, human beings are the supreme beings on the planet. Except for the whales. We're not sure what the whales are saying. We know they're talking, but we don't know what they're saying. We have a duty. We have more than a duty. We have an obligation to preserve and protect. But that obligation can't come at all costs. And it certainly can't come at the cost of human life. And so the balance needs to be struck. And what a perfect example of some of these innovative land use plans that have already been instituted here in Collier County. I assisted in the 5-year review of the RLSA clear back in 2006 and was finally successful in adopting that review and implementation of those enhancements to an already award-winning land use plan here just last year. I am currently in my second term. I have one more in me. I am the one, that was my primary campaign promise, that I would initiate term limits for our county commissioners, and did. And that's a total of 12 years, 3 4-year terms. I'm assuming, hopefully I will get reelected one more time in 24 for my last term. It's been an honor to be serving. I am not a politician. I have never thought of myself as one. I am an elected official. I'm here to perform a duty, and that's to take care of the residents of all of Collier County. Only the folks that live in District 5 can theoretically vote for me, but I represent all 400,000 people that live in Collier County year-round. They all deserve to have a voice and deserve to have that representation.